Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 5th of November 2018, and this is Master Joe Ching with you. Well, today's topic is actually about this particular lady from Hong Kong, and she was formerly a TVB actress. For those who have grown up in the 80s and 90s, watching the Hong Kong movies as well as the TVB dramas, okay, you should be pretty familiar with her. Okay, she is the Yammie Lam, Chinese name known as Lan Jieying. Okay, so we want to, or basically I want to examine, because I do have people asking me, so I thought of putting up her chart, her Bazi chart, and find out some of the glaring things inside her chart. And of course, what is in her Bazi to be insanely so beautiful and so gorgeous, okay? Because she has been very well known, besides for her acting skill, she has really, been come across as somebody that is so sweet and so beautiful. Okay, so let me just give you a bit more history about her. Well, very unfortunately, I also feel a bit sad, because I have also grown up watching some of her production. I mean, some of the movies and dramas that she has participated in the early 80s and 90s. So what happened is that just last Saturday, on the 3rd November, she was found to be dead at home. Take a look at this newspaper cutting from the Straits Times. Well, apparently, one of her good friends went up to look for her and found that, not just found that, the good friend actually smelled something that is rotten. So the friends also overheard or heard that the TV was still playing, but there was no response. And I guess that the friend immediately called for the police. And when the police broke into the house, they discovered that she has already passed on. Okay, and and a lot of media, newspapers start to publish a lot of things about her. Okay, and I can give you a good rundown of her so-called, in chronological order, what has happened to her. You see, Yammie Lam. What happened is that in the past, for the past 10 years or more, she was basically ill, okay, especially mentally, emotionally. She was like in some form of mental distress, okay, and of course she was receiving treatment. Her financial status was also very bad, okay. You see, take a look at the bullet point. It was rumored that since the day she came out to the entertainment industry, it was rumored that she has had 11 romances, including famous actors like Stephen Chow, this guy here. She was actually acting as the spider deity here in this show, Journey to the West by Stephen Chow. And as well as some rumors and scandals about her with Tony Leung. But none of her romances actually turned out well. She did not get married, but probably one of the relationship that she had, she almost married this guy, but and someone that is quite famous and rich in the Hong Kong scene, but eventually it did not turn out well. Okay, they broke up. Before that, in 1986, a steady boyfriend of hers, about for 3 years, actually committed suicide. Okay, so she found out, she was very, very upset. She attempted to kill herself, but was rescued. Okay, and then recently, not just recently, 2013, she alleged that 2 Hong Kong veteran actors actually raped her in the early 90s. And that was part of the reason that she also gone a bit so-called mentally upset. Okay, and resulted in her today having to go through the mental treatment, okay, by a doctor. In 1998, she also had a serious accident that affected her health quite drastically. In 2006, she declared bankrupt. She also sought treatment for her mental conditions until the day she passed away. So, from a rising star, a very beautiful actress that acted very well in a lot of, famous movies and good productions in the Hong Kong TVB, started off in a very good manner but ended in a very sad way. Okay, so I'm just very curious about her 八字, and I also have some so-called requests and inquiries from students that ask me about what actually happened. Can we really see from her 八字? Okay, why this girl, in Chinese we say 红颜薄命, means why is she so beautiful and yet she has a very, very so-called a lousy fate. Okay, so I went to Wikipedia, and you can actually search for her 八字. She was born 1963, 27 of April. In terms of hour, I did a reverse engineering, okay, to find out roughly what time she's born, based on also Western astrology method. Okay, so I believe this is her hour of birth. Okay, so you see, why is she so beautiful? In the study of classical 八字, especially in terms of golden verses, there's a saying, 金水若相逢必遭美丽容. And this means that when water meets metal, it gives rise to pretty face or great beauty. And to decode further, what it means is that it is talking about metal day master people that has hurting officer like this, or any output element, okay, in the chart, especially when it is rooted. Rooted means on top you have one, bottom you have one output element. Usually you will be quite good looking. Okay, all right, so that's the meaning. So from here we have the answer here that, oh, that's the reason why she's so good looking. Okay, and usually a very, very high probability here, a high percentage of people that have this kind of metal day master water output, usually they are pretty presentable and good looking. You probably can do some research on your own. Okay, you see, look at her since younger days. She's such a sweet looking person. Yeah, a lot of men definitely want to go after her. She has very strong sex appeal and opposite sex luck. Okay, nevertheless, why such a gorgeous looking woman can have so many difficulties, challenges and obstructions in her relationship? Okay, well, the fortunate thing is that, or the unfortunate thing is that, she did not get married. Okay, and if she has gotten married and given birth to children, it might be even worse off. Okay, what's the reason? You see, this is a very, very important golden verse in the study of the lady's life classic. Chinese we say 女命伤销两倍，伤夫克子. In English, it means that when a woman has both, HO means hurting officer, borrowing the market term, and indirect resource, she will counter her husband and children. Okay, so this is based on research, based on statistics, that since over the past hundreds of years, whenever a lady that carries these two elements, these two so-called 10 god in the chart, they will never have a very, very complete and blissful marriage. Okay, when we say counter the husband or children, it could literally really mean that they pass away. Okay, they pass away while she is still alive. Okay, so for lady that has this type of combination in the chart, it is really very, very bad. Okay, we don't want lady to have this. Okay, to top it off, okay, she belongs to Geng Zi Day pillar. Okay, if you use this as a reference point, one of the death and emptiness star, the Kong Wang or the void, happens to be here at the month branch. Okay, and this month branch in the study of lady's life Bazi was so important, especially in the ancient time, because this is the period that a lot of women get married. If you still could remember, in terms of basic Bazi, your year pillar represent age 1 to probably age 17, and your month pillar represent age 18 to age, say, 34 or 35, and so on and so forth. And from the perspective of Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty, this particular palace is also known as the marital palace. Hey, is there something wrong? Because so far, what you have been learning is that you are using the day branch as the spouse palace. Am I right? Yes, you are not wrong. But when you further study the lady's life Bazi with me, you will know that a lot of reference point, when references are made, we actually talk about the month branch. Okay, I will not elaborate too much, but it is so important. Okay, and yet she has a death and emptiness star there. That will also affect her life during that period of time. Okay, that will also affect, and it is also an indication that her relationship will fail during this period of time. Okay, without looking at her spouse palace yet. Another thing that is pretty glaring is that she's sitting on her HO, hurting officer. You see, we don't like, ladies to sit on hurting officer. Okay, because this is your spouse palace and you have a hurting officer there to counter your officer, which is your husband. This is an inauspicious luck pillar for a woman. Okay, when come to baby C-section for baby girl, I will never pick this so-called day pillar. All right. At the same time, this is also known as the peach blossom star or the sword pool. Okay, so what it implies is that usually this gives rise to strong sex appeal. All right, or she can also marry good-looking husband. Well, the very sad thing is that she was so good-looking, beautiful, charming, a lot of romances, but in her last 10 to 15 years of her life, she has actually become very, very disturbed mentally, very haggard, looks very run down, and in fact, her hair has almost turned gray or white, So I really feel quite affected also, because having watching her since young in a lot of movies, drama, and today if you look at her, she's alone, and she has suffered tremendously, okay, in terms of emotions and health. All right, so that's how she looked before she passed on. These are her recent pictures, okay, and she was also seen talking to herself, and eventually she's now at this luck pillar. And this is also known as the 6th luck pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And unfortunately, she could not pass this 6th luck pillar. I have actually written an article about the 6th luck pillar being the challenging point, the moment, the luck pillar that people make it or break it. Okay, I will not elaborate more, but if you are interested, you can take a look. I'll go to my website, masterfengshui.com, look under article, and I have written something about the 6 luck pillar. Because at one point in time, a lot of celebrities, people like George Michael, people like Carrie Fisher, etc., etc., they all pass on suddenly. Okay, at one point in time, probably 2 years ago. And you realize that many of them, they could not make it during their 6 luck pillar. Okay, why? It's because the 6 luck pillar actually have a 天克地冲, means a 反应. On top countering, bottom having a 6 clash into the month pillar. And for those who know a bit of basic 八字, especially for you, if you have learned a bit of 八字, you know that your month pillar is the 魁罡, means this is a very, very, it's called known as a 提纲. It is such an important point in your 八字 natal chart. It is the most pivotal part of your 八字. Okay, so we don't like anything to clash your month branch. Alright? And unfortunately, she's now here, and if the element here are negative, she will have some problem. So after highlighting some of the more glaring things about Yammie Lam's chart, some food for thought and questions that I ask myself. From a ancient point of view, how will these ancient 八字 classics categorize the chart? Okay, because what happened is that in this very discriminating ancient 八字 classic, they do classify ladies from pure to lustful and promiscuous. So it is basically like a caste system, you know. We have the best to the worst. So how would we, or how would me, based on the 八字 theory, classify and categorize a chart? Okay, this one something that I ask. Will her husband quality be deemed as good using the ancient traditional way of measuring a lady's marriage using the 12 life stages method? Okay, how will it turn out? Okay, will her husband quality be good? Will her marriage be good? Okay, right, before the spouse palace, their concept was being popularized, we actually look at, or rather the ancient, the Qing, the Ming dynasty people, in the very traditional way, we look at ladies' marriage quality using the 12 life stages. Okay, so this thing I'll cover in the class actually, but this is something that I ask myself. Can a woman having a 八字 like hers enjoy a blissful marriage eventually? Okay, because people say, oh, she sits on hurting officer, and her hurting officer is so strong, review on the stamp. Okay, and she has a 7 killing next to her. Can a woman eventually like her have a good husband, have a good marriage? Another question mark. If not, then what should she do? Or which year of birth her boyfriend should belong to for her to enjoy a happier relationship? Which means, out of so many guys that she knows that go after her, which one should she select based on their zodiac sign or based on their year pillar? Of course, the same thing could apply to you as well. When you are choosing your partner, which one is more compatible with you? And after looking at this type of chart, after doing so many women's chart in my entire career, especially when it comes to baby girl 八字 C-section calculation, what usually would be the important consideration? And over here, I will share with you usually what are the pointers that I look at when I calculate for a baby girl. I will focus a lot on the quality of husband star, the direct officer, the husband palace, the presence and positioning of the husband star in the natal chart. I will look at her 10-year luck cycle, okay, to make sure that usually the baby girl, she will have a good head start in life. Subsequently, during her prime age, she will have a good husband to take care of. She will have a good career, and ultimately, towards the older part of her life, she needs to have somebody to take care of her, especially the children. So you see, these are the things that I consider, okay, and how her study luck going to turn out, especially during her childhood, teenage. How's the career luck going to turn out? What kind of career will be suitable for her? Her health, especially during small time, we need to consider her health. Otherwise, if the baby come out with a bad health, with some intrinsic problem, a lot of stress and burden will be on the parents. Okay, we look at ultimately her luck with her own children, the relationship, the affinity, whether the children will be filial to her or not. And most importantly, a lot of people overlook this thing, is the relationship with parents. We do not want the baby girl come out or the baby boy come out and the parent pass away. For example, the father pass away when she's still small. All this can be prevented, calculated, okay? We want the baby girl come out to prosper the parent as well, to have a good relationship with the parent as well. All right? So these are the considerations. And in fact, I'm going to discuss all this thing in the coming class this weekend, on the Saturday and Sunday, in my class known as the Ladies Live. It's a specialist Bazi program, okay? And this time round, I'm going to enhance it further with Chinese wedding date selection. Because, for your information, Chinese wedding date selection system, and for mine, I base it on a very famous classic called the 嫁娶岁金赋. Out of the so many verses in the classic, in this Chinese wedding date selection classic, 90% are for the woman, to protect them, to defend them against nasty in-laws, to make sure that the date and hour that they choose, that we choose for them, prosper the husband, okay, and allow them to have good children. So all these things will be covered in this 2 days program. And do allow me to just mention a bit more. Other interesting topics that I will cover, not exhaustive though, include, for example, I will teach students, or I teach you, the famous Ladies Live Golden Verses for accurate spot-on analysis. The Chinese word here, let me just translate for you in English, or in Hanyu Pinyin, is known as 孤鸾煞, 牙全女师, 女命慈父, 女命间隔. So all these things are about good and bad ladies' life based on certain ladies' classic. Okay, for example, just now we already mentioned one, like a lady having both HO, hurting officer, and indirect resource, leads to bad life. Counter husband, counter children. Okay, so these are just, one-liner. Nevertheless, it entails so much meaning. It encrypts a lot of special meaning inside. And if I could decode for you, it will definitely bring your Bazi to the next level. Okay, so these are very accurate, spot-on analysis. Sometimes just within 2 seconds, you get the answer. One of the heavyweight topic here is the 12 life stages, detailed analysis for all your 4 pillars. also, I'm going to use 12 life stages analysis because these are the Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty way of looking at marriage luck, as well as the number of children in your chart. Number 4, for example, I'm gonna teach you how to read if a woman will marry foreigner. For example, Chinese marry a Westerner, or somebody of a different cultural background, and at a very young age. Okay, before age 25, that is a strong sign that we read. And once we see that, at a very, very high probability, you will marry foreigner. No, it's not based on the traveling horse method. It is based on the positioning of your spouse star. All right. Number 5, how to read if a woman will marry twice. So within 1 second, one look, or maybe 2 seconds, straight away you will tell this person will have 2 marriages. Okay, at least 2 marriages. Very fast. Number 6, how to read if a lady will marry a younger husband. There is a formula. Okay, and you will also find out how will a lady marry a husband that is 7 years gap. There is a formula. Okay, that I'm going to tell you this secret formula. Likewise, vice versa for the man. How will he know? He will marry a very old wife from the man's chart. Number 7, how to read if a woman will marry and become a rich man, wife, or tai tai. Based on the spouse star, based on the spouse palace, I will tell you. Number 8, how to know if a woman will have difficulty in having baby. There's also a golden verse that governs this. And based on my many years of research, especially recently, I've been doing a lot of cases about ladies going for IVF. I have a collection of all this data. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so that you can have a mental preparation and you know what to do. Okay, and I will tell you when you should aim for having baby. Number 9, how to know if a woman will have the luck to become CEO, to climb the corporate ladder, or to become an entrepreneur, etc. Number 10, how to know if a woman will always find easy to lose weight. Certain women, they will never put on weight. And certain women, they will always put on weight and find it difficult to lose weight. I'll tell you what is in their parts to have such so-called good fortune, to have a very slim figure. Okay? Extra bonus topic for you. Number 1, I'm going to teach you how do we grade the marriage quality of a woman into A, B, C, D, E. Okay? Likewise for the man. How do we grade? But more important is for the woman. What kind of woman, at one look you know this is grade A chart. Or at one look you find, oh, this one, fail and divorce in marriage. Definitely 9.9 out of 10. Okay, I'll tell you. In today's context, 10 cases out of 10 cases, divorce. Or 10 cases out of 10 cases, happy life. I'll tell you. Bonus topic number 2. This is something that it is regarded as one of my trade secrets. How do you analyze between a couple whether this person can be your soulmate or not? Okay, I'm going to teach you compatibility analysis based on single pillar analysis, based on 4 pillar analysis. Okay? And to complete the understanding of Lady's Destiny, as mentioned just now, I'm going to introduce to you as one of the bonus topic towards the second half of the second day. Okay, I'm going to teach you this very valuable knowledge about classical wedding date selection, because personally I have been interviewed by the media so many times about what constitutes a good wedding date. For example, some people like to choose very interesting date like the 12th or the December 2012, so that they get 121212. But are these dates good? Do they really carry significant meaning in terms of feng shui, in terms of 八字, in terms of date selection principle? Okay, so I was frequently being interviewed. I'll share with you a lot of my practical tips, because when you and the other half get married, it involves 6 parties altogether. Don't you realize? Both sides' parents, you and your spouse, and there are only 12 types of days to use. And sometimes a lot of couples say, oh, I only want Saturday and Sunday, and that further limit the choices, you know, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. So there are many challenges in today's context when we come to doing wedding date selection. So I'm going to teach you all this thing, all right, also touching on salient features of the yellow calendar, especially those that you tear away. Your grandmother or your mother used it, those hanging on the wall that you tear away. There are a lot of interesting meanings inside there. I'm going to teach you. Okay, I'm going to tell you this thing about the 12 jian chu deity method. That means every day is ruled by one officer and one deity. I'm going to teach you the method. I'm going to talk about this very, very important, in fact, the authority of wedding date selection, known as the 嫁娶税金赋. Okay, there are many golden principles that is talking about, for example, dates, hour that don't clash, as well as year and month that you should not use, okay, so that you will not clash with your in-law. But is it practical? That's the thing. So I'm going to teach you my method, okay, together with this classical way, so that you can happily get married into a new so-called family, and certain dates that I will teach you to use so that you will prosper your children next time, prosper your husband, and of course create delights for your in-law, have a good relationship with them. Okay, there are days and hours to use. What are the relevant wedding date 神煞 auxiliary stars that you need to apply? Okay, and I'll tell you the procedure, and I'll tell you the do's and don'ts in modern context when it comes to wedding event. And I'm going to talk about relevant 神煞, not the usual 神煞. Okay, there are special 神煞 for registration of marriage, customary, tea ceremony, banquet that you need to use, okay, for, of course, for a smoother so-called procedure. Everybody will be happy. There's no breakdown here, or there's no nasty customer, there is no any hoo-ha, there's no blunder during the day. Everything's smooth for you if you choose a good day and time with relevant 神煞. Not only just that, I will teach you how to start work, choose a good timing and day to start work after Chinese New Year, move into new house, sign contract, etc. And I will show you some case studies, not just for the wedding date selection, also for the 八字. So I will show you different categories of 八字, from, for example, good tai life, to somebody that always marry a jerk, to divorce chart, okay, to rich woman chart, and etc. Okay, so this program, the 八字 specialist program, Ladies Destiny, together with traditional wedding date selection, okay, will be held this weekend, 10 and 11 November, Saturday, Sunday. Time is from 10 to 5 Singapore, of course at my training room. Okay, I'll give you the address if you are signing for it. It is basically next to MacPherson MRT, LTC Building B, level 06-01A. Alright, course material provided. We will cater lunch box for you. Voice recording is allowed, and of course you are welcome to come back next time for your free revision. Just some side announcement. In case you are very interested to find out more about this thing called the 八字 golden verses, for example, not just for ladies luck, but authority and nobility, you can go to this website and sign up for this course at only $68 USD. All right, you can find out more first by going there. So if you are really keen for these weekend courses, or if you got any question pertaining to my presentation, please feel free to email me at academy@destinyasia.com.sg. All right, or you can also visit me at masterfengshui.com. So thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great day. Thank you very much.